Hey, what's up everyone? Pop Culture Junkie back. How's everyone doing? How's your weekend going? Today is Sunday, May 5th. So, first of all, Revenge of the 5th, right? And then also, happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone out there. Be safe celebrating. So yesterday was Saturday, May the 4th, as in May the 4th be with you. Also, every May 4th, or yeah, basically, yeah, it is every Saturday, or every Saturday, first Saturday of May, there we go, was Free Comic Book Day. Now, if you're not familiar with this, you need to listen here because you're missing out. Next year, make sure you join in. What happens is Free Comic Book Day is a nationwide celebration for helping people encourage young people to read, and adults as well. Now, the whole concept of Free Comic Book Day is not just to get free stuff, but it's to encourage the fact that no matter what you read, it's important to read. It's important for our children to know how to read for all the right reasons, of course, and it's important that we help everyone, no matter how old or young you are, you should have the skill of reading. And this concept allows us to help people with that because, hey, maybe you don't have anything to read. Well, guess what? They have this new thing, they've been doing it for years now, called Free Comic Book Day, where you get to go to a comic store and they have select comics that they are giving away for free. They have a limit sometimes. You might get a few at one store, 5 or 6 more at the other one, who knows? But they have this concept now where it's called Free Comic Book Day, where you can go to a local comic shop and they will have what's called free comic books, and you get to pick out a few comics to take home and read. Maybe it'll be something about something you've already been into. They might have something to do with like Marvel or DC, Image, etc. There might be comics that you've never heard of before by independent artists, so you get to learn about new comic stories and characters. So it's a really awesome concept, and I've been going to a couple of comic shops every year for the past, I want to say about 5.5, almost 6 years now I've been going. As always, I went to a couple of shops yesterday with my wife. Now, here's the thing. A lot of shops get into it in a lot of fun ways. They'll have artists there that are selling like artwork, prints, different kind of things that they create. That could be based on, of course, Marvel and DC and other comic book characters or TV show characters and movie characters such. You'll have people that make things, not just drawings and paintings, but other items, crafts, and such. You also get a lot of fans that show up and they'll be wearing costumes and cosplay and such. You never know, you might see all kinds of cool things at your local shops that you don't normally see on Free Comic Book Day. And on top of that, a lot of the shops, because you have a lot more people showing up, they're going to have clearance or sales and promotions. So you might get like 10, 25, 35% off other items and such. So it's a really great thing to do. You got to go check it out, okay? If you didn't get to go yesterday, make sure you put it on your calendar to go next year and celebrate Free Comic Book Day. Now, they did have free comics, of course, at the 2 shops I went to, and I'm going to share with you what I picked up. So I've got my bag of comics here, and I got 3 comics from one store and 5 at another store. So I'll show you real quick. I think we got a couple extra ones that they were giving us too. So yeah, I have stack of comics here that I'm going to show you what I picked up. And again, you'll see here at the top it says Free Comic Book Day. So if you ever see a comic at a store or a resale shop or whatever and it says Free Comic Book Day, that's the where that came from. Those are from those free comics that they give out. So let's see here. Let me sort through this, figure out which ones are which. Okay, I believe these are the 3 I got at one store. And let me separate these real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I believe that's the, yeah. Okay, and okay. I'm all over the place here. All right, so the first store, we headed over to northeast of Houston, and it's a store called DNA Comics. I check them out every so often whenever I'm in the area, but I don't get to go there very often, but they were doing a limit of 3. They're a smaller store, so I don't know if they just didn't have as much inventory of these compared to other stores, so that's why they had a limit of 3. So first comic I picked up, we got the Avengers plus Savage Avengers, okay. Cool artwork, looks good. All right. One thing I was really worried about is my wife and I, we finally watched Captain Marvel the other night. So we got caught up there. We have not seen Avengers Endgame yet. So I was really worried that while we were at the comic shops, we were going to hear people talking like, oh my gosh, can you believe what happened in Endgame? And I'm like, I'm still trying to avoid spoilers. I don't know anything about Endgame. So yeah, I was worried about that. But here's the first comic there. Then I have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's got some really nice artwork there. Okay, and again, it's a real comic book, in case you're wondering. Okay, it's a full comic book. It's not like they give you little teaser ones or anything like that. And then I picked up this one here, Star Wars, May the 4th be with you, free previews. And you got Lando, Boba Fett, Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia on the cover. And then got Boba Fett there. Alright, so again, free, totally free, so that was nice. Okay, so those are my first ones I picked up at that store. There's another comic store down, well, basically West Houston, or West, Northwest, there we go, called Bedrock Comics. You may have heard of it. It's more of a chain you can find around Houston. I don't know if they're outside of Texas or not, but I know they're all around Houston. There's at least 5 or 6 stores, and they had a limit of 5 comics. But while we were walking around, one of the guys working there was actually like handing out other comics, saying like, "Hey, did you get one of these? Here, go ahead and grab one of this." Because this, so you're only allowed to get 5, but they went ahead and of course, you know, somebody just started giving us a couple extras. So these are the ones I picked up at Bedrock Comics. So first of all, this was the first one that they made sure everyone got it. They said everyone gets this comic no matter what, in addition to the 5 that you're allowed to take. So we got this one, The Year of the Villain. All right, got Bane on the cover there. I love that laughing Batman. I like the pop. I've seen that one. I really want to get that pop. It looks awesome. So that was the first one there. We got Grumble versus the Goon. I'm not familiar with this one, but I thought that a lot of times whenever I get these on Free Comic Book Day, it's all about the artwork. Okay, unless it's a story like Turtles or Star Wars that I'm familiar with. If I see some really awesome artwork, that's what I go by as far as the ones I pick out. And another example is this one here. My favorite thing is Monsters, Emil Ferris, and you got all kinds of monster characters on the cover there. Okay, let's look inside this one real quick. All right. Wow, that's pretty cool artwork. Okay. All right, so got that one. This one was nice because Stranger Things, of course. So got Stranger Things. All right. Awesome. All right, next up I've got a Bob's Burgers, and they've had a Bob's Burgers one, I think, almost every Free Comic Book Day. I've gotten a few of them. I know I did a video on a previous Comic Book Day, and I think I had Bob's Burgers before. I don't know if we have a trend going where they always have a new comic book on these Free Comic Book Days or what. So we got Bob Burger, and then finally we have The Tick. Love The Tick. Love the anime series, comics, everything. So awesome news stories, it says. All right. Every time I read The Tick, I mean, I love the live action show we had in the 90s. I know there's a live action one that came out recently also, but every time I read The Tick, I can't help but think of Patrick Warburton from Seinfeld, but of course he played the Tick in the live action. I can't read a comic without his voice being in my head. So those were the ones I got from Bedrock, and then those are ones I got from DNA. Next door to the Bedrock Comics, there is a store that I love going to. We've got multiples around Houston. I always try to duck into one when I pass by one anytime I'm driving around anywhere in Houston, north, south, east, west, whatever, called Half Price Books, and they have tons of comics and resale stuff and whatnot. Anyways, they had a promotion where anytime you bought something that day on Saturday, you got a free comic book. They had like 4 comic book boxes in the front, just filled with random comics, and they were like, pick out, just grab a comic, you get a free one with any purchase. And this is the one I picked up out of the box. Got the Spawn Wildcats. Got Spawn on the cover. Artwork's insane. I thought that was really good. So it looks like it's a part 4 of 4 story or series. Yeah. Okay. But I just like the artwork. So yeah. I always love the ads on old comics. Whenever you find comics from like the 80s and 90s, it's always cool to see the advertisements on it. I found a couple of comics. So I was digging through there, and when I was looking through them, I found like advertisements for like old Sega Genesis games and like Game Boy and whatnot. I found one that had a WWF Monday Night Raw on Super Nintendo advertisement on the back. That was pretty cool. So yeah, that was another free comic book. We ended up buying a couple of we bought some kid books actually at the half price books. So we've been stacking up on children books and all, kind of all kinds of things to have for whenever the kid gets here. So we have plenty of things for him to read and us to read to him and whatnot. So yeah, we found some cool stuff there. So there we go. All right, well that is everything I picked up for Free Comic Book Day. Like I said, you got free comics there, free comics at another store, and this was a freebie they gave us at another store called Half Price. So very nice, and I love the concept because, like my mother always said, it doesn't matter what the kid's reading as long as he's reading. And I grew up reading comic books. I would read Superman, Batman, Archie comics, etc. And it was really like, hey, is he reading something? Good, because he's reading. That's the whole point. He needs to read, so he learns how to read. And, that's the whole concept. You got to read. So, yeah, it's always a plus no matter what. I mean, you want your kids to read other things, obviously, but if you got to find some way to get them to go into that reading concept, this is a great way, and it encourages it because you get a free comic book. And so how many times can you say, hey kid, here, read for free? Okay, comics are a few bucks at least, if not more, and not everyone has the money to spend on comics, but if a kid sees this versus a boring old novel from 100 years ago, they're going to want to read this because of the cool artwork, the colors, the funniness, the stories, everything. And it's still, what? I'm still reading. So yeah. All right. Well, hey, there was one other item that I saw at both comic shops. I'm sure every comic shop got these. And I didn't get it because, one, I'm trying to save money, obviously. But on top of that, it's not something I follow necessarily. They had a DC Heroes Constantine Funko Pop with a comic book day on the box. Like right here, you can see like a bad example. So like, yeah, on your standard Funko Pops, you have a like a sticker for a store or like Hot Topic exclusive, whatnot. Like you see those, or the Chase sticker, whatnot. But they had a rectangle shape sticker that said May 4th Free Comic Book Day, and it was a DC Heroes Constantine Funko Pop. There was a, again, Free Comic Book Day exclusive item. Didn't bother getting it. It was only $10, just like all your standard pops. And I thought that was kind of cool. That's the first time I've seen them have a Funko Pop exclusive to Free Comic Book Day. Hopefully they do that again next year, and maybe it'll be something that I'm more into. It's not something I was like jumping at, like, oh, if it was only like a Marvel, if it was a Marvel character like, Captain America, Spider-Man, I probably would have grabbed it then, or something else that I'm into, wrestling or Star Wars, whatever. I think that they missed out on doing a Star Wars one. It was May the 4th. Why not do that? They should have had a May the 4th Star Wars Funko Pop. Could have just been anybody. Chewbacca, Princess Leia, by the way. Hey, my condolences and to all of Peter Mayhew's friends and family, because we just found out, of course, that Peter Mayhew just passed the other night. Very sad. Did get to meet the guy, and he was amazing, unbelievably nice and friendly. And I mean, you see all the stories coming out recently. No one's had a bad word to say about Peter Mayhew, and may he rest in peace. And thank you so much for the amazing character of Chewbacca that he is leaving behind, that will make sure he is never forgotten. So, amazing. But yes, I think they missed out on not doing a Funko Pop Star Wars for May the 4th on Free Comic Book Day. That would have been awesome. Okay, everyone, just want to share with you my haul for Free Comic Book Day. As you see, I got a lot of reading to do, got a lot of cool stuff, and you can get the same stuff too. Check out Free Comic Book Day at your comic shops next year. Again, it'll be the first Saturday of May every year. And yeah, you might find some cool stuff. All right, guys and gals, I hope you have a good rest of the weekend. I will see y'all later. Talk to y'all later. This is PCJ, the Pop Culture Junkie, signing out.